Genre is a French word meaning type or kind, and it defines a certain category that a film fits into. There are also things called hybrids, which is the merging of two or more films. This can be something like a rom-com. This was created by pushing romance and comedy together. Genre has 4 stages. Creation of a new idea, like a brand new genre. When The Godfather came out, it was the first major gangster film. Drama like Titanic. There's been a lot of dramas like it before, so the codes and conventions of a drama have just been used in that film. Basically for directors and film studios that just want to make fun of a previously made film. For example, Scary Movie. Horrors have been done to death. Everyone knows what's going to happen. You have the typical stereotype characters, the jock, the ditzy blonde, and the guy who always gets killed first. Scary Movie thought they'd play around with this, basically where a genre is just pulled apart. Sometimes they'll begin to challenge the stereotype, so it's quite a fairly experimental stage. Audiences are going to have expectations when they walk into a cinema, like if they're walking in to see Suicide Squad. Even if the public have only seen the trailer so far, it's already built a fan base. We know from the prop set that it's going to be an action film. If you see a tattooed gangster type guy running around with massive rifles in his hands through blazing fire and a building come crashing down, it fits the stereotype of an action film. The fire represents a symbol for destruction. Fire also uses colour code. The red and the oranges and the yellows all represent panic, danger. It's also the symbol for a violent and adventurous genre. This also presents an action film's values and themes. The Godfather, some of the values and themes in that would be brotherhood, family. Iconography also reinforces the stereotype of the genre. It can also be foreshadowing the later downfall of a hero or the destruction of a major city. The director could be wanting the audience to ask questions about the character, ask questions about the situation. Maybe this is trying to represent something political in real life or particular views in society that they have. You wouldn't expect to see a princess running around in a pink dress in an action film, would you? That's because of character roles. They have to be stereotypical to the film genre. Most films follow the simple beginning, middle and end structure, which was created by Aristotle over 2,000 years ago, and it's still used in most films that we watch today. This sets the narrative out chronologically for the audience so that the plot is simple for them to follow. Some films like to mess with the audience's brain a little. They like to jump about all over the place. This is called a non-linear narrative. This can include things like flashback, like The Notebook. This film uses multiple flashbacks to increase tension, as the whole film is a story told by McAdams' older self. This method is usually used when they want the audience to find out information at certain points. It's depending on what the director wants to portray at a certain time. It also increases the audience's character anticipation and enigma. The last part of a genre structure is its visual style. Say we were watching Suicide Squad. The lighting was very high key and it made it have quite a happy and light-hearted mood, like this. It would suppress the excitement and anticipation in audiences. But if the lighting was low-key and strikingly dark, like this, it would inform the audience that someone is probably about to get killed. This is called colour grading. Similarly, if the scene uses slow cuts and simple, boring editing, this wouldn't build any adrenaline in the audience, causing them to get bored and become apathetic to keep watching. When a film is advertised as a specific genre, it automatically interests a specific audience. More audience numbers equals more cinema tickets and DVDs sold equals more money in the studio's pockets. Action happens to be probably my favourite genre. I think they're a lot more exciting than a rom-com, which are normally the same boy meets girl structure. Some actions have elements of sci-fi, like Alien, and some have elements of comedy, like Kingsman. My other favourite genre is comedy. They always make you feel good, which is ideally what an audience wants to feel. Comedy sketches in films are normally filmed with high-key lighting to enhance the happy mood. Scenes are also normally filmed in daylight. Non-diegetic sound effects are extremely popular in comedies. They're non-naturalistic, which leads to being normally very funny. There's always a character who's the joker of the cast. Normally idiotic and or clumsy. There are 3 main types of comedy. Slapstick, which is very traditional. It uses props like pies splatting in people's faces. This kind of comedy would be used in a lot of kids' cartoons or family films. This originated in a lot of black and white films as verbal communication didn't exist. Then there's dark humour in films such as Heathers, as some jokes are based around the subject matter of death. And the last type of comedy is wit, used through puns and clever wordplay. So that was a brief explanation of what genre it is and how it's used. Thanks for watching.